Hello guys, I'm gonna showcase you today ultimate guide to creating a CEO analytical dashboard. This is one of the most important pieces of being a data-driven organization is to have a CEO dashboard, or at least what we saw at Estella, that not a single organization that has or claims to be a data-driven or is on the way to being a data-driven doesn't have a CEO analytical dashboard. I'm gonna dive into it of showcasing the top metrics and top features that are not non-negotiable and that yield the highest results when creating a custom CEO dashboard, the difference between the executive and CEO dashboard, common mistakes and challenges that people face and do when creating a CEO dashboard, and crucial steps that you need to take to be able to achieve this outcome and build a CEO dashboard either for yourself, either for your executive team, aka CEO, to yield the highest ROI for them and for the organizations. Right now, you're probably asking why should you listen to me or anything. I'm just gonna skip through this. Basically, one of our we generate way over 10 million in pure profit for organizations just by turning their data into the actionable insights, creating multiple custom analytical solutions, dashboards, AI, and machine learning solutions for the company, aligning their business needs and bridging the gap between data and business. My personal experience started in sales, then I moved to marketing, and then I moved to the engineering department, more specifically revenue operations and data and engineering department. Right, we work with private equities, financial firms, tech, software businesses, sales-based businesses, agencies, and so on. And my currently goal for this video is just showcasing, and for Astella, is just to help organizations utilize data more better, turn the data into the actionable insights so they're able to propel their growth, decrease their churn, increase their retention, just scale and become a true data driven company. Now, here are some of the examples that we have built that I want to showcase you guys. Right, these are just some of them. And here are some of the examples what our clients have to say. Right, let's say for this example, we generate over 4 million in this specific case. More examples, screenshots, and so on. Right, I can scroll this basically quite a long time. Now, what is a CEO dashboard, right? The CEO dashboard is basically, I always explain it like a command center, meaning, let's say you are, how would I say, you are driving a ship, you are, and you want, it's like a cockpit where you want to see everything that's happening and top, okay, providing you top visibility of top level metrics and key metrics all across the organizations. Right, it's a dynamic tool, meaning it's designed to bring all of those top north star metric of the each unit, each section, each department, that will help you to determine the health of the organizations, the top metrics, and the CEO cares about, that their job, their role is biased about, their success is measured in. And of course gives you the unified view in all of those top metrics, okay, top, I call them North Star metrics, in one place. And it's focused basically just to give you the picture in a bird's view for more strategic decision making, right? It should answer you these key things, which is basically what is happening, are we doing good or bad, how bad are we doing or good, and are we track on hitting our goals, right? Now, big thing here what I mentioned is it's not really meant for a further or in-depth analysis. It is very careful to know, because I see so many people try to mash up so many data points, so many purposes in one analytical solution, dashboard, whatever it be. But then it gets just too hectic. It doesn't serve any purpose. And as everybody knows, if you don't serve one problem, or if you don't solve one specific problem, and you try to solve so many problems, at the end of the day, you don't solve any problem, right? And with the CEO dashboard, we just try to answer these four things, right? Maybe the fifth things would be what are going to be happening next, which I'm going to dive deep into the now. Now, let's move this. The benefits. Now, you're probably asking, why should you care about, why is this important? Well, the first tip is strategic decisions. Like with the CEOs, you don't want to guess where you're currently at or what is happening with your organization, right? You're trying to make better data-driven decisions with cold, harder data, and at least and minimize the risk, right, for better outcome. The second thing, it's live time insights. Now, you don't want to wait months for the reports. You don't want to wait even a day for the reports, especially as a CEO, because you're more future driven, like future focused. No CEO looks back, always they look in the future on what to do next, right? and this will help you to spot more trends easier, uncover pitfalls with your current conditions, against situations, and how future might look like, right? And of course, seize any opportunities that might happen. Now, better communication, better results. It's gonna be 10 times more easier to communicate with board members. Okay, with any board member, whenever you have a board meeting, you don't really need to prepare. You already have everything done and everything communicated with other stakeholders prior to it, and it can be used all the time. And not just with board members and other executives, but also with the investors. Investors love this stuff. Like it's so rare to see a company, which might be very funny to hear about this, but it's very rare to see an investor not ask for metrics, right? Any investor wants to know your current state, and if you don't have them, they're not going to be happy at all, right? And of course, if you have your pitch decks and your static reports, that's not really good, because a CEO should know everything anytime, right? And if an investor asks you, or if any board member asks you, you should know that. Now, streamline reporting. I think I already touched base on this. Basically, you don't really need. There is no wasted hours anymore. You need to go into the IT department, into your data department, into your revenue operation department, whatever department it is, to ask for reports, to ask for pitch decks, or anything. You already have everything done, right? Now, the end of the benefits is also what answers should give you this. It should give you this: what is happening, are we doing good or bad, how bad are we doing or good, and are we on hit on track our goals, right? This is the question that it should answer to you. Now, here is an example of custom analytical CEO dashboard, which I'm gonna go into it right now and showcase you as well. Now, let's say I'm gonna just enter this specific. I'm not gonna enter the name. This is basically just like a login page, which every CEO should have. But for example, I'm gonna just enter. I'm just gonna click this, so you're able to automatically see, right? And I'm just gonna go quickly now. As we said, the dashboard should, of course, there are some improvements to be made, as always, which I'm going to touch base on this as well. At the top line, we have the top priority metrics, which are the sales metrics, which every CEO should care about, right? We have here the revenue. We have the monthly charts, which they can set however do you want to see it. They have their date pickers, which you can see here. They can see here the exact number of shows, offers made, and so on. They can see their ad spend, which is the marketing part. They can see their ROAS, like a return on their ad spend. They can see down below their cost per monthly, cost per booked call. If they click on it, it's going to automatically change, and it's going to showcase them cost per qualified, right? And so on. And of course, if they change again, it's going to showcase them a different manner and a different metric, which they're able automatically to see, right? And that's how they're able to click on it and automatically see the other charts and showcase the data even more granularly, but at the same time is still in a bird's view point, right? Of course, if they also want to see it, they can also hover this above and see the exact definitions of each metric, which is very important for a CEO to know how the metrics are calculated, so they don't need to go in any external sources, right? And of course, if they want to click on this, they're able to even see in a monthly view, so they don't need to go in the date picker to see, but they can see in monthly view of how everything is happening. And this is just a quick example of it. Of course, what can be also done better here is, of course, I'm going to deep dive deeper into the later examples, is, let's say, providing them with the KPI or visual to see the month-of-month growth, comparisons to answer are we doing good or bad, the threshold of their success, meaning how far they are off their current goal, and so on. And of course, just providing it in more visual appealing manner, right? And this is just a quick example that I want to showcase you. And let's move forward with this. Now, what to track into the CEO dashboard, right? As we mentioned with the CEO dashboard, it's like a cockpit of a ship, right? Imagine being a captain of the ship and you want to see where you're currently going, what's happening, and so on. You want to see the overview of the whole metrics, okay, to determine health of the organization. In short lines, you want to see North Star metrics from the each unit, aka department. Let's say from department marketing, it could be ad spend, ROAS, a return on investment in marketing, a number of leads, a number of conversion between leads to the opportunities. In the sales department, it could be revenue generated per salesperson. It could be It could be also close rates, conversion stages, and so on. In the financial department, it could be profit margin, CAC to LTV ratio. It could be EBITDA. It can be so on and on, right? And then it can be also, let's say, in the customer success and experience department, can be churn rate, which is the biggest metric in the software companies, to be able to know that. And all of these North Star metrics are important for the determine health of the organization, right? And of course, majority of them going to be lagging, right? Now, step one, each what you need to do is before anything I show in this example, you need to be start with strategy part, meaning you should interview the CEO of the company to their goals, priorities, states they want to see, their decision makings process, and how they currently get the data and even their business processes. Either that you are CEO and you want to build yourself a dashboard, or you want to assign this to a lower level. This is the first step where you should start. Now, here are some of the structures of metrics which we see commonly. They have to be utilized and can be applied, to be honest, with any industry. Now, finance, you're able to see, as I said already, revenue, profit margins, cash flow, CAC, LTV, and normal LTV, the sales and marketing, ads, pet sales growth, lead conversion rates, sales pipeline value. Very good to know for the future outcomes. If you know that if you have 5 million in pipeline value and 30% of them is going to be closed, you already can predict the future in the next quarters and months. Retention, churn rates, sales cycles, satisfactions, market is a very good one to compare your results to the landscape of the market, right? Sometimes this is very underutilized, but it's very good to know, because you need to understand the comparison to what you are comparing to determine the health of the market. Okay, these answers, are we doing good or bad, or how bad are we doing, or how good are we doing, right? Comparison, this could be, let's say, okay, where are we currently in the market, let's say, in terms of the G2 reviews, in terms of the rankings on a certain review sites, let's say if the industry average of the churn rate is 8%, where are we currently on that scale, and so on and on, right? Of course, also the competitiveness, or let's say if the average growth rate in that specific market is 15%, where currently at. These are some weird examples, but I think you get the point, right? Then there's, of course, the product. This, of course, is more for software companies or any other tech company, but let's say monthly active users, usage metrics, adoptions, and so on. This very determines the churn rates and so on. And sometimes this is not necessary, but it's good to know. Now, why are some of the green and some of the yellow colors? Well, green are basically non-negotiable, meaning that CEO dashboard with the green categories almost doesn't exist, right? At least we haven't implemented, or we've seen health data-driven organizations use a CEO dashboard without the green categories, and the yellow ones are the semi ones, which are preferred to have, but they are not how do I say it, not urgent to be implemented, right? Now, of course, everybody knows that CEO dashboards are every time is going to be slightly different based on the industry and the company, because data only works if it's custom to the goals and the needs of the organization. And of course, a big factor here is an industry. Let's say in the tech industry, of course, you're going to be focusing more on things like ARR, churn rates, and so on, where in the logistical, you might focus on revenue, profit margins, costs, and even logistical, aka supply chain metrics, right? And so on. Now, let's move forward. Key features of the CEO dashboard, right? Now, the key features of the CEO dashboard, right, are quite common sense, but one of them is lifetime data, right? CEOs live simply in the future. They don't care about what happened. They care what is the next and where they're currently at, right? So if this dashboard is not adapting and updating every 15 minutes at least, there's going to be a very low adoption to the solution, right? Now, the hover effect, as I already shown in the previous example, meaning the CEO shouldn't go and ask or even speculate of how things are calculated and their formulas and their definitions. This is very big important, because you need to establish trust with data, because if the CEO doesn't have trust in the data, how the captain will steer the ship? I think you get that point. Now, there is no segmentations, right? What do I mean by that? Now, the segmentation is mostly used for further analysis, right? Now, if you have multiple filters, multiple drill downs, multiple pickers, and so on, it can get so hectic that at the end of the day, the CEO dashboard, it's not a CEO dashboard, but there is so much filters, so much buttons that it does just become so cluttered, and it's not going to be usable, right? It loses the purpose, right? It loses the goals that a CEO dashboard should answer, right? Now, of course, there are going to be some filters and some metric drill downs which are important for the each CEO custom to their needs, things like date pickers and maybe regions and so on. But everything, single thing, should already be segmented without them needing to click a button or drill down further, right? Customizability, of course, everybody knows that it has to be custom to the CEO of the company. The user interface should be so seamless that they don't require any training or any type of documents to know how to use it. It should be so simple to use, right? As you can see in the example that I provided above, it was pretty much so simple to use that we don't really need to explain to the CEO how to use it. And they haven't ever used that specific tool, BI tool or so on, right? Of course, even if that's true, still provide with the SOPs and trainings just in case, but it shouldn't be required. Now, of course, bonus is also predictive. Of course, every CEO wants to see what's going to happen next and what might happen next. And so I crucially provide, okay, recommend if makes sense and it provides the business value and the feasibility level is quite low, or it at least makes sense in for the company to also apply a predictive analytics for certain metrics as revenue, profit margins, and so on. Now, how to design, of course, CEO dashboard. Now, every CEO has their own style. Now, customize your dashboard to reflect your unique needs and ensure to provide the insights that are most relevant to you. This is exactly what you need to take. Start with the strategy part, meaning deep down into the decision-making process, relevancy by interviewing the CEO. If you're a CEO yourself, start with that. Ask your questions. What do you want to see, and so on. Well, what is your decision-making process? Where you're currently getting the data from, and so on. Now, mockup wireframe. Before you start designing the dashboard, start designing it inside of the Figma file or any type of lookalike software. Try to dissect and implement the layouts there, implement the layout size, and so on, before importing all of those assets into the BI tool or maybe even custom front-end development tool, which your developer is going to be building. Simplicity, keep it simple. Your dashboard should provide clarity and not confusion. The context, each element has to be answered in the first 3 seconds now of what it presents and how it's going to calculate by hover effect, right? Or if you don't have hover effect, it has to have a text next to it, right? That's we utilize hover effect because it's the most easiest and doesn't provide cluttered dashboard, and it's very clear of what has to be presented inside of it. Minimalistic, keep everything minimalist. Use free color schema. One color should be a little bit more contrast color to pop up the key insights and the data. No training. Okay, the UX should be so easy to use that it requires minimal training for it. Okay, no training at all. Visualizations, utilize correct visualization techniques, which majority is gonna be line charts, graph, scorecards, and column charts, right? Of course, also pop up the key things, let's say growth rates and so on, with the correct numbers and correct icons as arrows and etc. Layout should be utilized standard 16 to 9 or 3 and etc. Basically, just utilize the standard in all BI tools like Power BI, Tableau, Click, etc. Or even if you're bidding custom, utilize that specific standard layout. And of course, first row should be utilized for the navigation panel. Second and third row should be utilized for insights, metrics, and scorecards and graphs and charts. Group data by department, meaning each data should be grouped by, so the CEO can scan in 3 seconds and see whatever data is showing, meaning group by marketing department by having scorecards, or say having a section or part of the dashboard just by marketing, and of course annotate that, provide context to it that this is marketing data, supply chain, finance, etc., and so on and on. Okay, and make sure to always provide context to it. Because if you have, let's say, marketing data and the next to it is, let's say, supply chain data, it just gets hectic. It doesn't make sense at all, and the CEO is going to be confused and he's going to be pissed off at you. Now, of course, challenges and mistakes to avoid. Now, overloading with too much information, right? The less is more. Everything with the data, less is more. Avoid cramming the dashboard with too much data. Of course, focus on the North Star metrics, which your CEO only cares about. No strategy. Your dashboard should be a reflection of your business goals and end user priorities, aka the CEO priorities and their job. If the metrics don't align, every single thing that you're going to be building is quite irrelevant. Pure user experiences, if it's very hard to navigate, or if there's so many buttons, so many hidden features, it's just going to provide so much friction that they're not going to use it at all. Forgetting the purpose, don't forget the purpose of the CEO dashboard, which I explained in the first few tabs. This one, you can screenshot this so you understand. And of course, let me just go back. The benefits of using the CEO dashboard, this one. Discussion should answer the CEO dashboard. That's how you determine if your CEO dashboard is valid or not. No real-time data, meaning the real-time data should be at least 5 minutes or close to live, or if you cannot do it live, if you don't have expertise to do it, at least 15 minutes, right? Make sure to fetch the data as fast and as clear and to be presented in most relevant manner, because if it's not, the CEO is not going to care. And of course, I'm assuming the CEO is watching this video, you probably agree with that. Now, one of the last ones are no iterations, meaning, and feedback, meaning one of the biggest thing is to just think this is one-off project, because that's how 90% of the data solutions fail. Make sure to develop fast. Make sure to develop simple, the first solution. Iterate and improve on the feedback on the go. That's how you develop things that are aligning the business needs and fast, and not build something on the long time horizon and then doesn't matter or it's relevant to the user. Now, one of the key things people mix up is the CEO versus executive. As I've told before, they try to cram up so many features in the dashboards that it loses the purpose. So many KPIs, so many drill downs, etc. It just loses the purpose. Now, the difference between CEO and executive is the CEO, it gives you the bird's view, okay, the cockpit and determines the health of the organization, where the executive is made specifically for the function, the department of that specific executive. For example, sales dashboard on the left corner, and on the right one, CEO dashboard. Let's say this is just an example. Now, of course, iterations and feedbacks. Biggest mistake is, of course, I already mentioned it, that is treated like a one-off project. Meaning, if you're gonna do that, it's probably gonna be there's a high failure rate. The solution has to be adapting to the business goals and needs and priorities, and of course, it has to be maintained. That to fix that and to make sure that happens, you have to have constant feedback loop with the CEO and the solution, the people who are building the solution for you. Either that be outsourced partner, that either be a data analyst, engineers, or even if the CEO has the technical skills to build it yourself, you need to be constantly adapting and maintaining it. You should have a potential sending out feedback surveys so you're able to see and utilize the next round of updates and just see where can it be improved. And of course, the survey should be filled out in the last 60 seconds, because CEOs and executives simply don't have time for that. And of course, checking the usage metrics as a number of logins, time spent, etc., which you can find in any BI tool like Looker, Power BI, Click, Tableau, and so on. Or even if you're building custom, you can connect it to the specific software for tracking usage, product usage. So basically, the project management system for this should be alpha development, deploy, feedback, and iterate on the go. Now, of course, summary. Basically, understand the goal of the purpose of the CEO dashboard. Start with the strategy to understand the foundations, needs, priorities and goals, key features and metrics. Design the CEO dashboard using key things. Be careful on the common mistakes and challenges which I just mentioned, and of course, implement iterative approach. And of course, if you want to turn your data into the actionable insights, or if you want experts and don't want to go through the hassle of building a CEO dashboard or any data ecosystem, a data analytical solution in your business to become a data-driven company and gain a competitive edge, of course, you can book an exploration call with our team. You can check more proof on our website of previous customer successes that we had in some of our solution, and of course, check our YouTube channel to check more videos. I hope you like it. See you soon.